Welcome to Paris, the city playing host to the 2024 Paralympic Games. In this show, a golden start in the pool for the world's best para-swimmers. At the velodrome, the first of the track cycling titles were settled. And celebrations for the Turkish archer who'd set a new world best. Here come the highlights.
The swimming programme is one of the highlights of the Paralympic Games. 141 gold medals to be won at La Défense Arena over the next 11 days. Kamil Ortowski of Poland had never won a Paralympic medal of any colour, but his wait was soon over. A convincing victory in the men's 100 metres backstroke S1 final. There is an undoubted favourite in the S2 100 metres backstroke final. Gabriel Araujo of Brazil was looking to upgrade the silver he won at Tokyo 2020, and his victory was never in doubt. He led from start to finish, and the swimmer who beat him at the last Games, Alberto Abasa of Chile, had to settle for bronze this time. There was an upset in the final of the SB3 50-metre breaststroke. Former world champion Jo Gi-song of the Republic of Korea was in confident mood. But when the race began, he was no match for Japan's Suzuki Takayuki, who won gold in this event at Beijing 2008. 16 years later, he charged to victory again. Rowan Crothers was the defending champion in the 50 metres freestyle S10, but another Australian, Thomas Gallagher, had delivered a blistering swim in qualifying. And he reproduced that form when it mattered. Crothers forced to settle for bronze behind Brazil's Felipe Melo Rodrigues. Neutral Paralympic athlete Ihar Boki is one of the greats of the sport. His bid for a 17th Paralympic gold medal came in the final of the men's 100 metres butterfly S13. But he was pushed all the way by Alex Portal. The young Frenchman was closing with every stroke, but Boki held on to win this title for the fourth successive time. Another defending champion lined up in the 200 metres freestyle S5 final. Francesco Bocciado of Italy came through in the second half of the race and retained his title in a time of 2 minutes 25.99 seconds, a new Paralympic record. Gabriel Bandeira of Brazil was bidding to defend his title in the men's 100 metres butterfly S14 final. William Ellard of Great Britain was the fastest qualifier from the heats. He led at the halfway stage. Bandeira fought back, but so did Alexander Hillhouse in lane 5, and it was the Dane who took victory in 54.61 seconds, new Paralympic Games record. The final of the men's 400 metres freestyle in the S9 class promised to be a highlight of para-swimming's opening night. No doubt who the crowd was supporting. Hugo Didier of France had won his qualifying heat, but he was up against the world champion Simone Barlam. It was the Italian who started strongly. Timothy Hodge of Australia was in second place, but as the noise levels rose in the arena, Didier closed the gap. Final length, the Frenchman served past Barlam to take the gold. The world record holder Brendan Hall of Australia snatched the bronze.
It means a lot. It's been a very difficult year with a lot of injuries, questions about myself, a lot of doubts too. So I'm very happy with the final time, the final result, the gold medal for France. It's been such a wonderful atmosphere here with the French crowd cheering for us, so great.
It's amazing. It's a dream that come true, and I'm so happy that I did it for myself. I was quite nervous because this is a huge stadium and there's a bunch of people, and I never tried this before, so I was nervous, but I did all I could.
In para-archery, athletes test their precision by shooting an arrow as close as possible to the centre of the target. They might hold the arrow with hooks, straps, or even their mouths. They'll find creative ways to make archery work for their different bodies. At the Paralympics, athletes compete in the open or W1 classes. Open is for archers with impairments in the top or bottom half or one side of their body. They can compete with a recurve or compound bow, shoot standing or seated in a stool or wheelchair. Using a recurve bow is the traditional archery method. The target is 70 metres away, just like in the Olympic Games. A compound bow has pulleys which help reduce the tension when archers pull the arrow back. Here they shoot a smaller target from 50 metres away. W1 is for archers with impairments in both the top and bottom halves of their bodies. Competitors shoot in wheelchairs and use a compound bow. For both classes and bow types, archers can compete in individual or mixed team events. All archers start by shooting 72 arrows to decide who goes head-to-head and advance by winning the most sets or achieving the highest cumulative score. The best archers can balance their bodies and concentration, fight against the weather, noise, or even themselves.
The para-archery at Paris 2024 continued at Les Invalides with the ranking rounds of the women's compound and the men's recurve competitions. Athletes had 72 arrows and aimed to score as many points as possible to determine their seeding positions for the main tournament. The women's individual compound open category saw athletes shooting a distance of 50 metres towards an 80 centimetre wide target, with the central section worth 10 points. 17-year-old Indian athlete Devi Sheetal was well placed with 348 points at the halfway stage. The men's recurve athletes used a more traditional style of bow to fire at a 122 centimetre target placed 70 metres away. French athlete Guillaume Toucollet showed consistency throughout. Once the final scores were in, he had confirmation of a men's Paralympic record with 652 points. Devi Sheetal also kept up her fine form to record a personal best score of 703 points. Remarkably, Turkish athlete Oznur Cüragirder scored a single point more after 72 arrows. She savoured the moment, claiming first place in the ranking round and the number one seeding, with a new world record of 704 points.
There was an enthusiastic crowd at the South Paris Arena to see the host nation begin their campaign in women's goalball. Even before the Pool D match against Canada, there was an air of celebration for a French team who knew they were likely to find life tough against some of the world's best. And when the action got underway, Canada quickly gained the upper hand. They already led by 2 when Mariam Salahizadeh added a third with just under 8 minutes left in the first half. The goal was Salahizadeh's second, and a minute later, teammate Emma Renke found a gap in the French defences to make it 4-0 overall. She'd also scored twice. By half-time, Renke had surpassed her teammate by adding her third, and Canada were halfway towards the 10-goal margin, which would automatically bring the contest to an end. Despite that, the mood inside the arena remained upbeat. At the start of the second half, Canada introduced Megan Mayon as a substitute, and she quickly added her name to the scorers. But the key player was Emma Renke. She scored 3 more goals in the second half to take her individual total for the game to 6. And with just under 2 minutes left on the clock, the match was over as Canada scored their 10th. Amy Burke had brought the match to an early conclusion. Canada, the winners in Pool D by 10 goals to 0, and they looked like medal contenders. The French team had learned some valuable lessons on their Paralympic debut.
It feels so nice for that to be our first game of this Paralympics. That's really all we could ask for. It feels really relieving. Yeah, all we can ask for is a better performance now than we did in Tokyo. We're feeling really optimistic, so we'll just keep the momentum going.
The Republic of Korea took on Japan in the women's goalball at the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. Bronze medalists at Tokyo 2020, Japan were looking to make a strong start to this campaign. But after a nervous opening, it was South Korea in white who seemed likely to score first. Awarded a penalty, Sim Seon-hawa stepped up, only for her shot to be saved by Hagiawa Norika. Sim made amends moments later with a powerful shot that evaded the Japanese defence, and South Korea led 1-0. But Japan pulled level later in the half. Hagiawa was on target with a throw down the right, but just rolled into the corner of the goal. Part of the bronze medal winning team at Tokyo 2020, she was consistently Japan's most dangerous player. She converted their penalty midway through the second half with a shot into the bottom left corner. And the 23-year-old completed her hat-trick late on, putting plenty of spin on a throw to split the defence. And so it finished, Japan 3, Republic of Korea 1.
No team has dominated Paralympic wheelchair basketball like the United States of America, but with great success comes great expectation. Team USA's ambition going into their Group B opener to win an unprecedented third consecutive gold medal. And the favourites got off to a flying start. Jake Williams showing awareness for the steal and precision for the three-pointer. 1 minute later, another to give the Americans a 6-point lead. Spain, though, have ambitions of their own, having lost in the bronze medal match at Tokyo 2020. An immediate timeout and an immediate change of fortunes. Ignacio Ortega with a great solo effort. The first quarter was a fast-paced and physical encounter. Williams taken out. Words exchanged and an apology offered from Manuel Lorenzo. There was no let-up in the second quarter either. Captain Asia Garcia to Jordi Ruiz. Spain in front for the first time. The response was immediate. Brian Bell on target. Team USA finished the half 32-29 up. For almost 2 decades, Steve Serio has been the face of wheelchair basketball in the United States. After a quiet start, the captain came to life in the third quarter. This his 5th and final Paralympic Games. Spain trailed by 6 going into the final quarter, but reduced that to 3 thanks to a long shot from Ortega. It was as close as they would get. This combination between Serio, Jennifer and Williams demonstrating why the US remain the team to beat. Serio registering double figures in points, rebounds and assists. A prestigious triple-double. 66-56, the final score.
Being only 8 teams here, every game's all gonna be tight. We play Spain a lot at these tournaments, and they're very physical. They are very physical. Late in the play too, so we know what to expect. But I'm glad that we were able to stay fundamental and we came out on top.
We missed a little bit to execute the game plan. Back in defense, we lost a little bit focus, and they just break the game by 10 points. Then we tried to come back in the last quarter, but we couldn't really do it. So I guess just first game, we have to just stay focused. 2 more games to play in the pool, so just that.
The second game in Group A of the women's wheelchair basketball was a meeting between Tokyo silver medalists, the People's Republic of China, and Canada. The Canadians looking for their first women's wheelchair basketball medal in 20 years. Canada got off to a good start. Cindy Ouellette able to find the space for a 4-point lead. And they continue to cause China problems. Rosalie Lalonde left wide open to make it 12-4. China, though, battled back. Shen Xu-Xing with a 2-pointer to make it 15-19 in their favour. And that's how the first quarter finished. They maintained their advantage, although Canada battled hard. This sensational bit of skill from Lalonde ensured they remained in touching distance. To the third quarter, and Canada continued their attempt to reduce the deficit. A superb 3-pointer from Katie Dandeneau, making it a 1-point game. Canada edged ahead, but China brought it back level at the start of the fourth quarter. Zhang Jumei made it 55-55. And they didn't look back, pulling away in the fourth quarter, at one point taking a 10-point lead. Zhang Jumei with the points yet again. She'd go on to score 30 points in the match. In the end, China just too strong for Team Canada. The final score, the People's Republic of China 70, Canada 65.
Paracycling at the National Velodrome began with qualifying for the women's C4 and C5 category 500-metre time trial. Great Britain's Kadina Cox is the defending Paralympic gold medalist and the current world champion in the C4 division. The world record holder was comfortably through, as was Tokyo 2020 silver medalist Kate O'Brien of Canada and Paralympics debutant Li Zhou-Wei of the People's Republic of China. C5 world champion Carolina Kroot of the Netherlands was another to book her place in the final, breaking her own world record in the process. So 6 riders competed for the medals. O'Brien put herself into contention with a fine run. And Marie Patouillet of France, with the home fans cheering her on, put in a phenomenal final lap, good enough to secure a medal. But which colour? Defending champion Cox made a disastrous start. The British rider off her bike before the first bend. No restart was permitted and her defence ended there. It was Kroot of the Netherlands with the final chance at glory, and she took it. The new world record holder, now with a gold medal to go with it. Patouillet took silver and O'Brien went home with the bronze. There were 7 participants in qualifying for the men's C1 3,000-metre individual pursuit. Li Changyu and Liang Wei-chung of China had been dominant at the recent Paracycling World Championships, and Li set a new world record in his heat. Liang went through to the final 2, but was given a run for his money by veteran paracyclist Ricardo Ten Argiles of Spain, who's a multiple world champion in this discipline. The Spaniard's time was good enough for a slot in the bronze medal race. On the opposite side of the track was Germany's Pierre Senska. But there was no stopping Ten Argiles, the former Paralympic swimming gold medalist from Sydney 2000, with a cycling bronze to add to his collection. So an all-China affair in the gold medal race. Li, by far the more experienced of the two riders, had the measure of Liang early on and caught his compatriot before the 2/3 mark. A superb ride to take gold. In the women's C1 to C3 class at the same distance and discipline, C3 world champion Wang Zhou-Mei smashed the world record on her way to a spot in the gold medal race. Joining Wang in the final was C2 rider Daphne Schrager, also with a new world record in her class. The bronze medal race would be contested by Maike Hauserberger of Germany and Switzerland's Florina Riegling, and it was the Swiss rider victorious, winning her first Paralympic medal. So two world record holders went head-to-head in the gold medal race. Wang set the early pace while Schrager seemed to be labouring, and the British rider was almost caught at the bell. Wang secured the gold in a new world record time. Schrager took silver. To the men's B 4,000 metre individual pursuit, Great Britain's Stephen Bate broke the world record in his qualifying race, booking a spot in the gold medal final. But Bate's spell as record holder didn't last long. The previous incumbent, Tristan Bangma, winner of this event in Tokyo and the back-to-back world champion, rode in the final heat. The Dutchman topping the timing table to reclaim the honour. Italy's Lorenzo Bernard and Vincent Teixeira of the Netherlands rode for the bronze. In a tightly fought contest, it was Bernard, along with pilot David Krabani, who took the win by more than 3 seconds. The final featured Rio 2016 gold medalist Bates versus Bangma, the Tokyo 2020 champion. The Dutch duo started well and slowly built a small lead, but the teams were evenly matched throughout the opening laps. However, Bangma's experience paid off, and it was the Dutchman and pilot Patrick Boss who claimed the gold. Bate and Christopher Latham had to settle for a well-earned silver medal.
Yeah, it's amazing with all the family and friends in the stands. Seeing my girlfriend again, she's from Canada. And winning today in a world record in the qualification. Yeah, it's amazing.
I won the silver medal in the last competition, and I thought I was pretty good, but I still didn't win the gold medal. I have been training hard since I came back. I think my ability is fine. Maybe I didn't have much experience in big competitions, so every time I competed in the World Championship and World Cup, I always failed to deliver a brilliant result. But today, I outdid myself. I think I'm awesome.
Wheelchair rugby is a full-contact sport that combines elements of rugby, basketball and handball. Teams compete to score the most tries. A try is scored when a player with the ball crosses the try line with 2 wheels. Each team can have 4 mixed-gender players on the court at any one time. Hitting and blocking are used to stop opponents or create openings for teams to score. Matches are played in 4 quarters, 8 minutes each. Once teams get possession of the ball, they have 10 seconds to bounce or pass, 12 seconds to get to the other half, and 40 seconds to score. The pressure is on, adding excitement to the game. Athletes are allocated a sport class based on a point score ranging from 0.5 to 3.5. These are given based on the degree of activity limitation on their ability to play rugby. The 4 players on the court cannot exceed a total of 8 points. An additional half point is allowed for each female player on the court. Defensive players use a longer wheelchair and have a wider bumper designed to strike and hold opponents, while attacking players use wheelchairs designed for speed and agility to manoeuvre through tight spaces. Tactics, physicality and the tumbles are all part of the game.
The host nation, France, took on Denmark in their opening Group B game of the wheelchair rugby competition. Tries in wheelchair rugby are scored by carrying the ball over the goal line. It's fast and it's physical, with plenty of contact between the wheelchairs. Seconds after the tip-off, it was the Danes who opened the scoring. Sebastian Fredriksson spotted the opportunity. Thereafter, the tries came quickly. First one way, then the other. France showed great teamwork and strength to take the lead for the first time. Captain Jonathan Ivernat with the ball over the line. The crowd barely had time to catch their breath after the first period as the Danes retook the lead, making the use of the space. Mark Peters with the try. But France restored their 2-point lead. Ivernat again with the score. As the third period came to a close, France were keen to make sure they had possession. Ducret was the one with the ball over the line. He timed it well. It was all about preventing the opposition having the last score of the last period and maintaining that advantage. It was 42-40 to France going into the final period of the game. The largely home support urged on their side. In the closing minutes, errors crept into the play as both were desperate to maintain possession. France's Verdun managed to squeeze through for a 47-46 lead, but could they hold on? Denmark needed a try. And that man Peters provided it. But France had done enough. It could have gone either way, but it was the French who opened their group game with a win, 53-51. Japan, who are bronze Paralympic medalists in Tokyo, started their wheelchair rugby campaign with a Group A game against Germany at the Champs de Mars Arena. Germany were the last country to qualify for Paris after a 16-year absence. In wheelchair rugby, points are scored by carrying the ball over the opponent's try line and blocking them from doing the same at the other end of the court. It's high impact and there's plenty of physical contact. First try of the encounter went to a rising star in the German game, 23-year-old Josko Julke. But then Japan edged ahead through Iki Yukinobu, their captain. And at the end of the first period, they had a slender 1-point advantage, 13-12. Things began to go Japan's way in the second period. Hashimoto Tatsuya extended their lead to 5 points with his 6th try. In the third period, Japan showed some great teamwork as Sunshi Shimikawa and Yukinobu combined. It was now 29-20. But Germany were still in it as Wilke fought his way through to narrow the gap. Japan had a 6-point lead going into the final period and doubled that with Isiaki very much in control. Germany gave it everything, but it was a comprehensive win for Japan, one of the favourites, by 55 points to 44.
Badminton, the women's singles SU5 for Manisha Ramadas from India have been home favourites more than 40 France. With a passionate crowd behind her, the forward started the strongest. forced Ramadas into mistakes to take a 10-3 lead. With another mistake by Ramadas, going to forfeit the first game. The crowd were loving it. Ramadas, the world number 2, came out fighting. 5 straight points saw her open up an 8-2 lead. She eventually levelled up the match, winning the game 21-6. Into a decider, and the 2 teenagers putting on a great show. This rally went Ramadas' way to open up a 3-point lead. The Fort kept coming back, saving 3 match points to give the crowd hope. But Ramadas prevailed to win by the smallest of margins. A fantastic game, but it's the Indian who came out on top. In the men's singles SH6, Vitor Tavares from Brazil faced off against France's Charles Noakes. Ranked 2nd and 4th respectively, both players were in medal contention, and there was little to separate the two early on. Noakes was ahead by 2 at the halfway stage of the first game.
11-9.
And he pulled further ahead, with 5 game points in hand. Tavares saved 4 and was on the verge of a remarkable comeback. But it was just too many. As Noakes won the first game, 21-19. Into the second game, and Tavares fought back, storming into a 6-1 lead. But with the home crowd behind him, Noakes came back again, taking the narrowest of leads into the mid-game break. 11-10. The Brazilian was always in the match, but Noakes kept him at arm's length. Fantastic design and a super piece of athleticism here. And this time, Noakes made no mistake on the match point. A superb performance in front of a packed La Arena. The Frenchman will undoubtedly be one of the contenders at Paris 2024. And the women's singles WH1 Tokyo 2020 silver medalist Sujirat Pookam took on Brazil's Danielle Torres Souza. Thailand's Pookam was ruthless, and she opened up a 10-0 lead, and the world number 2 didn't let up, winning the first game in just 9 minutes. Souza improved in the second game, a nice winner here to keep the score at 10-9, but Pookam's experience proved decisive. She won 10 of the next 12 points, so a comfortable victory as she aims for her second consecutive.
Match won by Sujirat Pookam, 21.
Athletes competed for the first women's para-swimming medals at La Défense Arena. In the S9 400-metre freestyle, reigning Tokyo 2020 Paralympic champion Australian Lakeisha Patterson started fast and pulled ahead in the race's first half. But Sofia Konkoli of Hungary was hunting to upgrade her Tokyo silver medal to a gold, gaining on the Australian. In a burst of closing speed, the Hungarians stole the win from the Australian favourite, taking the first women's gold medal in the para-swimming. Vittoria Bianco of Italy claimed the bronze medal. Meanwhile, there was a packed field in the 50-metre freestyle S6. There was very little between Zhang Yuyan from the People's Republic of China and Ellie Marks from the United States of America. The Chinese swimmer took the gold medal, both athletes recording sub-33-second times. Anna Hontar of Ukraine received the bronze medal, Ellie Marks with silver for the United States of America, and Jian Yuyan won gold for the People's Republic of China, and heartfelt congratulations from fans. The 100-metre butterfly S13 was anyone's race. Americans Grace Newfer and Olivia Chambers, alongside Tokyo 2020 Paralympic champion Italy's Carlotta Gilli, were all formidable forces. Newfer got off to a good start, but in the second lap, Gilli surged ahead. She defended her Paralympic title, Newfer second, and Muslima Odilova of Uzbekistan claiming third place. Great Britain's Tully Kearney was looking to turn Tokyo silver into Paris gold in the S5 200-metre freestyle. But at the first turn, Ukraine's Irina Poida was in front. Kearney crept ahead at the 150-metre mark, and she widened her lead to take the win. Yip Pin Shu of Singapore holds the world record in the S2 100-metre backstroke, so it was her event to lose. With her fast stroke rate, she was in front for the first 50 metres, but Heidi Aceves Perez of Mexico and Anela Procera pushed her throughout the race. The Singaporean barely hung on to her win, Aceves Perez of Mexico in a close second place. In the S14 100-metre butterfly, Poppy Maskell of Great Britain was one to watch after a fast heat. She made a strong start and brought it home in 1 minute and 3 seconds flat, smashing the world record and winning Paralympic gold. Chan Yu Lam also swam fast just behind Maskell, securing the silver medal. The records continued to topple after making a new S9 world record in her heat. United States of America's Christy Raleigh Crossley eyed gold at her first Paralympic Games in the S10 50-metre freestyle. A tough competition against the S10 record holder, Canada's Aurélie Rivard. But it was Chinese swimmer Chen Yi who pulled away to snatch gold and a new S10 world record, 27.1 seconds. Raleigh Crossley finished in second place, and Canada's Aurélie Rivard claimed the bronze medal.
快奖牌对我来说意义很重，这快奖牌对我的意义来说很特别，因为这是我首次自己拿到属于自己的个人单项第一。I think it hasn't really sunk in, but this time, like trying to do a three-peat was a lot of pressure on myself and my team. So I'm really glad that we are here today and all of it is over. And I'm just eternally grateful for everybody who has helped me along the way. It's weird because it don't feel real. So my mom, my dad, and all my coaches and everything they've done, that's what helped me get here.
As they entered the South Paris arena, Saeed Youssef and Hannah Hamad of Egypt knew what they were up against. They faced the French pairing of Matteo Boheas and Morjen Callow in their mixed doubles match. The home crowd were clear in support as France edged a close first game 11-8. Paris 2024 marks the first time that a mixed doubles tournament has been played in para-table tennis at Paralympic level. Egypt's frustration was evident as France raced ahead in the second. Wrapping up the game in just 4 minutes by 11 points to 2. The crowd were expectant. Their players didn't disappoint. France delivered a convincing win in 3 straight games to take them through to the final 16. The People's Republic of China is the powerhouse of para-table tennis. They claimed 16 titles at Tokyo 2020 and were looking to add to their tally in Paris. They faced Great Britain in the semi-finals of the women's doubles. The winner would go on to play for gold. Team GB seized the early advantage, taking the first game 11-6. The Chinese duo came back in the second to level the match at 1 game each. The third saw them pull clear convincingly to lead by 2 games to 1. In the third, the Chinese never really looked threatened, taking the match by 3 games to 1. Huang Wenjuan and Jin Yu Cheng would go on to play for gold. Great Britain's Felicity Pickard and Bly Toomey had to settle for bronze. The second of the medal matches was between Norway and Germany. The Norwegian pairing of Ada Husik Dahlen and Marietta Teveden were the number 1 seeds. But a close, tense match went to a 5th and final game. Stefanie Greb and Julianne Wolf held their nerve to put Germany through to the final. Norway finished in bronze medal position.
Two of Boccia's most experienced competitors met in a men's individual preliminary round match at Paris 2024. Euclidis Grisales from Colombia and Germany's Boris Nicolai were competing at their second Paralympic Games. There was little to choose between the two players after the first of 4 ends in this BC4 match. Grisales held a narrow lead but was about to make a decisive move. With 2 scoring reds, he was in a strong position. Nicolai with 1 attempt left. The referee signalling that Grisales still held a 2-point advantage. The Colombian wanted more. A risky throw, but he had moved into a 3-0 lead. Nicolai was struggling to get into the match, and his opponent was in no mood to relax his grip. Grisales waited for the verdict, which showed that he had claimed 4 points in the next end. The momentum was with the Colombian, and his final ball merely confirmed the margin of his victory. 11-0, the final score in favour of Euclidis Grisales against Boris Nicolai of Germany. In the women's individual BC1 event, Aurélie Aubert of France made a promising start against Yiting Geraldine Tan from Singapore. Perfect positioning from Aubert with her blue ball would earn the French athlete the opening point of the match. Tan drew level by the midway point and was in control of the third end. Her final throw added a 3rd point, which meant a comfortable 4-1 lead for the Singaporean. Aubert was struggling in the final end. Her first attempt to dislodge her opponent's scoring red missed the target. Her next throw only succeeded in pushing another red closer to the jack. Those 2 points gave Tan a 6-1 victory on her Paralympic debut. Chung Yuen from Hong Kong, China was looking for her second victory at Paris 2024 in the women's individual BC4 category. In contrast, her opponent, Kristina Vozarova of Slovakia, had started her campaign with a heavy defeat. So there was a sense of relief for Vozarova when 3 of her blues finished in scoring positions in the opening end. Chung responded well. She was level by the third end and hoping to take the lead for the first time. Brilliant play from the athlete from Hong Kong, China. That earned her 2 points at a critical stage in the match. Confidence she took into the final end. Her last throw nudged her red closer and sealed a 6-3 victory over Kristina Vozarova. There was a family link to the BC3 match between Ho Yen Kei from Hong Kong, China and Elanza Jordan of South Africa. Ho's ramp was operated by her husband, Lee Wing Kit, while Jordan was assisted by her mother, Sandra. The most significant moment of the match came in the third end, with Ho leading 2-0. She had removed 2 opposing reds, leaving her 3 blues in scoring positions. Ho would take 4 points from this end on her way to an 8-0 victory.
The first day of competition in the Para-Taekwondo saw the first medals decided inside the Grand Palais. With a repechage round in these events, there were 2 bronze medal contests in each weight category. All athletes are in the K44 classification. First up in the women's under 47 kilo competition, Mariam Deroy from the Islamic Republic of Iran,
Ladies and gentlemen, entering by the grand staircase here at
the third seed from Thailand won a bronze medal in Tokyo 3 years ago and was hoping for a place on the podium once again. A close contest was level at 4 points each after the 5-minute round. So it went to a 60-second golden round, meaning the first to score would win the bronze medal. Still, they couldn't be separated though, so it came down to the referees and judges' decision. Bronze for Fuan Kitcher, despair for Daryl. In the men's under 58 kilo category, Kanwar Kankan looked to secure another medal for Thailand as he took on 19-year-old Sabir Zenilov from Azerbaijan.
2 fois médaillé de bronze encore au championnat d'Europe. Il est numéro 3 mondial.
He was the teenager who came out on top though, 2021 points to 4. So the third seed has a bronze medal. In the women's minus 52
Ladies and
kilo
gentlemen,
category,
entering via the grand staircase here at the Grand Palais, please welcome the athletes for the women's minus 52 kilogram bronze medal contest.
After a low-scoring contest was tied at 2 points apiece, this one also went to a golden round. And again, no score, which meant it was down to the officials.
Jackson!
Who awarded the bronze medal to Jack Wilson.
La rencontre sur décision de l'arbitre. En bleu, représentant la Géorgie.
Elsewhere, Zakaya Kudadadi of the refugee Paralympic team won bronze in the under 47 kilo category after her Moroccan opponent withdrew because of the concussion protocol.
Et médaille de bronze.
Kudadadi, who trains in Paris, delighted with her success.
L'équipe paralympique des réfugiés. And there we have it. Red wins the match with the blue opponents unfortunately withdrawing from the contest. So the bronze medal goes to the refugee Paralympic teams, Zakia Kudadadi.
The ranking rounds of the men's individual compound open and the women's individual recurve open took place in the para-archery at Les Invalides to determine the seeding positions for the competitions. Each athlete would get 72 arrows with a maximum of 720 points on offer. The men's compound bows feature some mechanical release aids and magnified sights. The 80cm target is set 50 metres away. World record holder A. Xianliang of the People's Republic of China got off to a tremendous start. He was just 5 points away from a perfect score at the halfway stage. The women's recurve archers used their more traditional bows to aim at a target 70 metres away. Italian athlete and world record holder Elisabetta Mino is a hand surgeon by profession. Her precision helped her to keep scoring well, while Chinese archer Wu Chuanyan kept things very close at the top of the women's leaderboard. With his golden bow, Ai Xianliang is aiming for a first individual Paralympic medal of the same colour. He broke the Paralympic record and tied his own world record mark of 709 points. In the recurve rankings, Elisabetta Mino pulled away to finish at the top of the leaderboard with a score of 641 points. That also meant that the Italian team could celebrate first place in the mixed team rankings.
Brazil against France in the goal ball looked like it would produce only one result, as the reigning Paralympic champions met a nation making their debut at this level. But what France lacked in experience, they more than made up for in energy. Roared on by a noisy home crowd, they struck first through Elias Unu, who would score his second shortly after Brazil conceded a penalty for not bouncing the ball in their own area. Another chance to bring the noise. The atmosphere off the court seemed to be helping the team on it. Harris Neymar are full of confidence. Brazil, though, are a team oozing with quality, and they soon began to show it, opening up a 2-goal lead. Not that France were ready to give up. This goal from Nabil Baich put the home side just one behind, and they enjoyed the moment too. 5-4 after a thrilling first half. It should have been game on. Instead, the Brazilian team took control, scoring 3 unanswered goals, including 2 for Romario Marquez in his 5th Paralympic Games. There were still moments to cheer for the supportive home crowd, and Ronaldo scored his first goal to make it 8-5, but they couldn't close the gap any further. Victory for Brazil, but the hosts nearly upset the holders.
Sitting volleyball features constant motion and bursts of explosiveness. 2 teams of 6 players try to score points by grounding the ball on the opponent's side of the court. The net is lower and the court is smaller than the Olympic counterpart. Matches are played in a best-of-5 set format. A set is won by the team that first scores 25 points, or 15 in the deciding 5th set, with a minimum lead of 2 points. Players move by sliding around the court and pushing with their hands and feet. To stand during play is forbidden. A part of the body between the buttocks and shoulder must touch the floor when making contact with the ball. Play begins with a service over the net. In sitting volleyball, blocking the service is permitted. Each team is allowed up to 3 touches to send the ball over the net. A team can have a defensive specialist in the back row. After the team receives the serve, the players set up the attacking moves. Players fall into VS1 or VS2 sport classes, depending on the degree of activity limitation on their ability to play sitting volleyball. A team can have up to 2 VS2 athletes on its roster, but only 1 can be on the court during play.
The opening round of sitting volleyball matches in Pool B of the women's competition were concluded on day 1 of the Paralympics as Canada took on Slovenia. The Canadians may be the world's top-ranked side, but they are looking for their first ever Paralympic medals in sitting volleyball, having narrowly missed out when finishing 4th in Tokyo in what was their 2nd Paralympic appearance. Teams need to score 25 points to win a set, with the first team to reach 3 sets winning the match, and Canada started in good form. Sarah Malenka smashing home their early advantage. Despite valiant efforts in defence, Slovenia could not stop Canada taking the opening set by 25 points to 11. Slovenia, who are appearing in this event for the first time since London 2012, began the second set by taking the lead for the first time in the match. But that was as good as it got for the Europeans, with the North Americans winning 25-21 to move 2 sets to nothing up. Slovenia have also finished 4th at the Paralympics twice in the 2000s, but they have since fallen some way behind Canada, who won the third set 25-12 to secure a 3-0 win and move second in Pool A behind early leaders Brazil. The last game of the opening day of action witnessed the loudest cheers as host nation France came out to take on Kazakhstan in Pool A of the men's competition. Having qualified for the event for the first time as hosts, the French would need the support, especially as the debutants were facing a side much higher in the world rankings. The early action went to form as the Kazakhs powered their way to a 25-7 first set win. The French coach issued a rallying call and his players responded. Winning nearly 3 times as many points in the second set, but they were still not enough. 2 sets to 0 up, Kazakhstan had weathered the storm and secured the win and an early group lead, and taking the final set for the loss of only 7 points.